to stand still and talk. This might be difficult. First of all, I'm really happy to see the huge turnout that is here. I don't know how many people know who we are or don't, but here's the story of what we do and why we do what we do. I managed car dealerships, Bentley, Mercedes, Porsche, had a really, really good career. And about 17 years ago, my son called me from Ohio University and said, "Mom," it was a Thursday night, snowstorm, I had a sinus infection, I had just taken NyQuil, it was 11:30 at night, I was going to bed, and he said, "Mom, can you come get me?" And I had my son young, he's my best friend. I thought it was a girl problem because he shared everything with me. And I said, "I'm coming to get you tomorrow, can't you wait?" And he said the word heroin. And, you know, for people that don't know, drugs go in cycles, and it's about every 25 or so years, it goes back and forth between heroin and cocaine. And it's done that since the 1800s. So everything I knew from my generation was nothing to do with those things. And I called my dad, I woke my dad up, and we made the 4.5-hour drive to go pick him up and went to 9 hospitals. 9 hospitals on the way back. Not one hospital could help. Not one hospital knew what to do. Some of them said he can just quit. Some of them said take him home. And it quite honestly pissed me off. I was smart enough to know that these educated people should know more than me, but I could see it was a bigger problem. I walked away from my job the next day and went back to school. I've been an interventionist and therapist for 15 years. Why did I do that? Because I didn't know how to save my son's life, and there was nobody that was going to take my son from me without me doing everything in my power to try to change that. I'd like to say that my son got it right away, but unfortunately, speaking to parents, they're the best manipulators to tell us what we need to hear, to calm us, to do whatever needs to be done so that we're at ease so they can continue doing what they're doing. And so if you feel like something is wrong, trust your gut, it probably is. I'll go into a person's house to do an intervention and say, "Do I have permission to search your house?" Well, of course, you know, my child told me they would never use here, they don't do this, they don't do that. I can walk, put my hands above ledges and doorways, come up with 5 or 6 needles, and the family's like, "How did you just do that?" You have to be as manipulative as them. You have to be nosy. You have to look at their phones. You have to, I was the crazy mom. I might be 5'3", yeah, I still am, but drug dealers would say, "Oh God, I'm not coming down your road. Your mom has me by the throat through the window," and what I mean, I would walk into any trap house and have my son by the hair pulling him out, and I didn't care. Don't be afraid to do what you have to do to protect your loved one. And there's a fine line between enabling and helping. If they're hungry, feed them. Don't give them money. If they need something, give them what they need, but not to the point where they're so comfortable that they don't change anything. If you're giving them a car and they're living at home and they don't have to work, you're at work all day, what are they doing? Probably nothing good. So a lot of the things that happened with us is, Frankie, you know, I worked in Toledo for a long time as a therapist, and I started seeing a lot of things that were going on, and a lot of it was within the counties, everyone and every entity thinking they were the answer, and a lot of fighting. And that's one thing that bothers me still about Ohio is everyone wants to think they're the right answer instead of putting all those forces together and doing everything that needs to be done. The answer for me might not be the answer for her or him or him. Everyone's recovery is different. So why judge people for whatever way they have to recover? If they need to be on medical maintenance and that's what's working, it's better than using. if they need Vivitrol, whatever it is they need, people going to meetings and having other people say, oh, well, they're not clean, they're on Suboxone. Well, now what are you doing? You're sending a message to this young person that's in recovery, trying to do what they can do, and everyone's like this about them, and now they don't feel welcome to come to that meeting anymore. And eventually they're going to stop reaching out for help because they don't want to hear that stigma. So there's stigmas within stigmas. People get hung up on what our name is. There's a lot of reason for our name. Our company name is Clean Motives. On Clean Motives, we have about 10,000 followers. For the Fuck Heroin Foundation, we reach over 4 million people on Facebook. Why? A young person sits down, and I've done this a long time. When a person is saying F heroin, they pretty much have had it. And you sit down at a computer and you're looking for help and you see sunshine this, palm tree this, F heroin. Oh my God, that's how I feel. Now they're going to start engaging a little bit. And that's, it's all marketing. We're not here to make a parent happy, or we have a lot of religious people, a lot of priests, rabbis, representatives in all different states that come up on stage and will say F heroin. The bad word is heroin. F never killed anybody. And so it's marketing, and it's to get to your children so that we can help your children. And if that makes them feel comfortable and they're willing to reach out, we live in Florida. We have a facility that we work closely with in Massillon, as well as 2 in Florida. We go in those facilities. We follow your kids. We work undercover. We shut down sober houses that are flop houses. We know what's going on. We stay in contact. So many places don't know, and they trust, and you're sending your child somewhere and you know nothing about it. Now they're in another state. And I take it upon myself, and so does my son, to call families sometimes of what we see what's going on and say, look, you need to send your child home. At least your child knew where they were and what was going on. Now you've got them in another state, and they're not in recovery. They're being passed around. They are using the insurance card like a credit card to stay here, there, and getting kicked out, going somewhere else. We do undercover, helping a lot of things. A lot of young girls get down there and they get complacent. They think they're cute. They use drugs with someone and think it's free because it was at home. Now guess what? They're handcuffed to a bed and they're a sex slave. I'm the one that goes and kicks those doors in to get your child back. We will do whatever we can. This year, we're not to January yet, but so far, even though we help people across the United States, we have helped 397 children in Ohio get into treatment this year. Our cell phones are on 24/7. When you call us, it rings both to my son and I's cell phone, as well as our personal cell phones are anywhere out there. We have resources. Someone asked about insurance earlier. It's a law to have insurance. It's getting harder and harder and harder to help people without insurance. Everyone qualifies for free insurance through Obamacare, if nothing else. It's open enrollment. If you have someone that you love, I encourage you to help them get signed up for open enrollment so they at least have something. Because over the years, it's got harder and harder and harder to help people without insurance. Because we're running hospitals into the ground, rescue squads, police officers, everything else helping with no money to help with. Hep C alone, the medication is $60,000 a month. Do you know how many people have Hep C? If you have that insurance, it costs you nothing. So I encourage you to get your loved ones signed up. We have resources of places that have sliding scales. Every state in the United States has something. we have those resources that we can tell you where they're at and what to offer. Sometimes it's just a family member that doesn't know what to do, helping them understand what's going on. So we play a lot of active roles in whatever we can do. You know, we travel and do what we do because God let my son live. And it would be wrong to not share what we have learned and what we can do and have learned over the years and be selfish with that. There was no one for me to go to ask questions. I'm available to ask questions, call. Even if your loved one's not ready, I can at least help you understand. So, thank you guys.